It's time.
Live. Two-man show today.
Two-man. We'll get it.
Well, unlike the NFL, we're still testing for COVID.
Yeah, we got some guys in COVID protocol. So I mean, it hit me first a couple weeks back, and now it seems to be making its way through the team.
Yeah, and I still keep hanging out with you idiots for some reason.
Hey, you're good. You're good with me now. I'm good.
I'm good.
It's those other two idiots that you got to worry about, right?
Well, supposedly.
So, like you guys can see, we are without James and Stoy today. They threw their picks at us, and it sounds like JMJ is going to give us his guest call-in here in about 15, 20 minutes, so we'll be looking forward to that. I'm sure he's going to be a man of many words, per usual.
Well, if he's more talkative as a guest, then he's going to start getting some...
He's just going to be a guest.
Start catching some. Yeah, we're just going to have him be a guest every week.
No, so, all right, well... same thing. We'll do the same thing as last week for our newcomers. We'll kind of give you a rundown of the show, what we do over here at No BS Goon Squad, how it kind of works, and we're kind of making a transition here a little bit as we get less and less football games. We are going to start transitioning into golf. We're in a one-and-done league, a pick-em league, all four of us. I know I struggled last week, or at least my golfer did. I don't know about you guys.
I think I was the only man that cut. I had Billy Horschel, but he finished like 36th. And I think that was the best of our group.
That's points. That's points, right?
130-some grand. I'd take it.
There we go. Absolutely. So just a little rundown. So first off, we start off with a recap, talk about the games that we picked last weekend. This week we'll be recapping NFL Wildcard weekend. After that, we get into our segment of our shitty shot segment, which I believe is me this week, unfortunately. So, well, James didn't fill his out, so by consolation, it's me. So I got to go get mine while we're...
I can't believe James would forget that.
Yeah, he never does. But I got to go out there and get my my shitty shot. So then we do our shitty shot, announce a winner this week. Stoy is not here, but he definitely won this week.
Mm-hmm.
And then from there, we'll talk about the games that we have coming up. We have the 4 divisional NFL playoff games this week, and then we'll kind of do a little bit of a rundown and breakdown as our best bets and money line spread picks and total picks. I'm going to go get that shitty shot since I reminded myself that I needed to take it. So before we start...
You don't have to do that to yourself. Self-inflicted.
Hey.
Rules be rules.
I chose a shitty one.
Yeah, it's
Warm fireball.
It's fiery. Heartburn in a bottle.
Exactly. I'm going to like to hear some of your recap on this NFL Wildcard weekend.
Yeah.
So we'll just go down the line. We'll start with go by the games in order. Actually, we'll start with JMJ. Actually went 12-6 this week, 66%. Stoy went 11-7, 61%. I unfortunately could not get over 50%. I went 8-10, 44%, and Cole went 10-8 with 55.6. Overall, we were 56.94%. Looks like, I mean, it's hard to say what our best game was. We were pretty darn good on the money line picks, kind of all over and spread, and it looks like the over-unders were our worst.
Yeah.
I mean,
it was weird. It was a year of unders for the NFL. It was not really an over weekend necessarily, but more so not necessarily the teams that you would expect to go over went over, that type of thing, and that's where we were definitely off.
Yeah, I mean,
we had one game where we all picked over and the game went under, and we had one game where we all picked under and the game went over. So,
when one team goes over by themselves and easily has the best weekend of any team. And
yeah, I think it was a game I anticipated. I just didn't think it would be that many points.
I thought
they would dominate. I just didn't think they would dominate by much. In Buffalo.
Looking at my picks, I just gave the underdogs way too much credit.
Mm-hmm.
Seeing them,
right.
I'm like, it's the playoffs. They got to play close. They want to be there. They want to be in it. But, most favorites just kind of took care of business, and it didn't necessarily matter who they were playing.
Yeah, unless you're the Cowboys. But
said most favorites.
Yeah,
we'll get to that. We'll get to that. So first game we had Las Vegas versus Cincinnati. Thoughts on this? 23-16, I believe, was the final score.
Yep.
Ended up going under that 49.5 total that we had it at. I mean,
yeah, I just feel like both teams missed opportunities. The Raiders, the whole first half, the Raiders couldn't hang on to the ball. I mean, they probably had 4 or 5 drops in the first half. Carr played fine. He had nobody making plays for him. Second half, they made a few more plays. We're in the game. The Bengals didn't put the game away when I thought they could have.
Yeah.
I thought Burrow and Carr both played well. I would even argue that if you just looked at it, Carr might even outplayed Burrow by a little bit. By no means a difference in the game type of thing, but it was the only way that the game was going to stay close as if Carr played well, and I thought he did.
Yeah, I mean, I think
didn't have the support that Burrow did.
Yeah, I think you're completely right on that by saying like Carr had to have a good game for the Raiders.
Mm-hmm.
Joe Burrow could have hiccups. I mean, they have the more talented roster.
They're just more explosive.
Yeah, I mean,
but the game itself, like I don't love either one of those two defenses, and yet it was. I don't know. Was it a defensive game? Like, yes, by score, but no by like
how the offensive plays.
Defensive
right
plays. You know, there was good pass rush at times. There was decent coverage at times, but it felt like the offenses hiccuped more than the defenses.
Yeah,
plays.
I mean, I completely agree with that.
So that game, I kind of went how I had expected. I didn't think that Cincinnati would win by 3 touchdowns or anything, just because the Raiders have been fairly competitive besides playing the Chiefs this year. And then Cincinnati playing in their first playoff game, winning their first playoff game in
31 years, I think it was.
31 years, yeah. So since text messages came out type of thing.
Their last playoff game, Joe Burrow wasn't even a sniff to be on this earth yet.
Right.
And so, no, I think both quarterbacks playing in their first playoff game, true first playoff game, I think both quarterbacks did enough to keep their teams in it and probably win that game. It just kind of came down to which team was going to have playmakers make plays.
Right. And both teams have had to play well down the stretch in order to get where they are. So I think that always helps going into the playoffs, is that you felt the game pressure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Been a part of the back and forth games. Obviously, you had the Chargers-Raiders game the week before. Cincinnati sat people against the Browns, but 2 weeks before that, they're playing for the division type of thing. So game pressure wasn't a thing for them. So that was good to see. You didn't see any big bonehead mistakes or anything like that really stood out. But yeah, the game kind of, from a score perspective, went as anticipated, at least for most of us. I think Stoy maybe had Raiders to cover, which would have been very feasible the way that game ended. So
I mean, what was it, 7 points or something like that?
Yeah, and they very easily could have scored at the end and not, whatever.
Absolutely.
Made that a game. So
this next one, completely one-sided.
Yeah, just bullied them.
I absolutely didn't see that happening. For my thought process, I didn't think that Bill Belichick was going to get bullied in the playoffs based off of the games that he'd played with him this year. I mean, he was still scoring. He was limiting them, but they absolutely couldn't stop Buffalo's offense. They scored on all 7 possessions that they had.
Right. New England's defense has carried them through playoffs, call it 60 to 70% of the time over the last 15, 20 years. And I say carried them, just they leaned on them for big plays, special teams, stuff like that. New England's defense and special teams didn't make any difference and was, at time was actually negative.
Yeah.
And like Mac Jones he's taking a lot of flack. He's taking a lot of flack going into it. But like early in Brady's career, and everybody wants to compare the two, and I don't really care if you want to compare the two or not, but the thing is like Mac Jones, I think he threw 2 interceptions. The first one was an unbelievable play by Micah Hyde.
Yeah.
One of the best interceptions you'll ever see for a safety having to.
It was a good ball.
Yeah, it was a touchdown.
It was a touchdown. It was a good
Micah
ball.
Hyde didn't just go make a play like a receiver chasing a ball in the end zone. Over the shoulder, he's burnt out of position. Like, wasn't a bad ball. The other one was just kind of a force, kind of what we've seen towards the end of the year when Jones gets a little bit of pressure on him. But ultimately, Buffalo's offense was, 7 for 7? The only thing that they didn't do well is they missed 2 PATs.
Yeah.
They had 2 blocked PATs. Besides that, Buffalo played nearly a perfect game. I believe Josh Allen was some points. He had like a 157.8 passer rating out of 158.3.
He had,
had to throw 25 times, was 21-25, was 300-plus yards, 5 touchdowns.
Yeah, so more touchdowns than incompletions.
Right.
James Jordan.
Oh, there he is.
There he is. He's announcing himself even.
JMJ. Oh, hang on. We got to get you on this audio here, bud.
Bluetooth him in.
On the video, it's not working.
There we go.
You're here, though.
You can hear me, but you can't see me. That's fine with me.
That's exactly what you want. You're just blending into the corner.
I don't want to be seen right now.
Perfect.
You're absolutely correct.
That's perfectly fine. We can hear you loud and
All right,
clear, buddy.
Where are we?
Everybody
hear me?
Yeah.
You're good, loud and clear coming through. We've got right now we're just recapping Bills, Patriots, and got a couple other games we're going to get through before we get into picks. So
You're recapping what?
Bill.
Yeah.
Say anything to say besides that on that game?
Oh, that was an absolute ass.
Yeah.
What? It was almost as bad as last night's game.
Yeah. Well, there were 4 playoff games that weren't competitive.
Just like, I don't know what's going on. The Cowboys look terrible. The Cardinals look terrible. The Pats look terrible.
Yeah.
So now what's going to happen this weekend? I have no idea.
Yeah, that's...
No, you might as well flip it. I feel, just like we said in the group chat, 75% of these lines are traps.
That's our...
The books are begging you to take Kansas City.
That's our
and
live...
I don't think that's the play.
That's our live broadcast name right now.
Slow
live
down.
NFL,
Slow
it's
down.
a trap.
Don't be giving away your big hitters for later.
Exactly.
It's a trap.
It's a trap.
It's a trap.
I'm going to have a
These
hard time
lines are a
taking
trap.
Kansas City when they're playing the team that's going to win the Super Bowl.
Right. How
How's
good
that?
did the Bills look? Are you joking?
Yeah, it's more than that for me, but yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Right. Kansas City is not. They ran into an inferior opponent.
Correct.
And that's all that happened.
They played the Steelers.
Right.
Right, exactly.
They played.
We knew before the game that Steelers weren't going to score points, so I wasn't sure why everybody was talking about, take the Steelers plus 7. Why? Why would you want to take the Steelers plus 7? They can't score.
Because Kansas City.
Well, we might as well just jump into that game.
Yeah, we might as well since you're talking about it.
Just jump right into that.
But the Steelers, initially to start the game, Kansas City punted on its first 5 possessions or something like that.
Yeah, it was. They were down 7-0. Well, T.J. Watt was up 7-0 at the end of the quarter.
Exactly. Nobody was going to score.
There you go. You said that a lot better. T.J. Watt was up 7-0.
Hey, I didn't say anything about the score. I'm just saying Kansas City's offense looked terrible to start that game.
Right. So this reverts back to what I just said. Right. That line against the Bills is a freaking trap.
I agree.
The books want you to take Kansas City. They're like, they're the favorite. They're going to win, right? No, the Bills looked way better than the Chiefs did.
Well, and I just don't understand. What got me with Pittsburgh wasn't necessarily that Kansas City was eventually able to figure out and move the ball. Like, Pittsburgh started giving up terrible, long touchdowns. The one thing that Kansas City has proven they can't do is for 4 quarters, 3 quarters even in that game, they can't score 4 long touchdown drives. They can score 1 or 2, but they gave them 3. They just gave them 3 touchdowns of 50 yards plus. Yeah.
When a tight end is scoring 48-plus yard touchdowns, that's...
When literally you could play prevent defense and tackle him in the worst case scenario there, they had to kick a field goal.
He had...
And you let him just run down the sideline.
He had multiple big chunk plays.
Yeah.
Where there was a couple times where I was like, okay, he's just going to score. He didn't, but I was like, okay, this guy... There's nobody else on the screen.
Yeah, that's what got me was just Pittsburgh all of a sudden after 1 quarter of playing really sound, aggressive football, all of a sudden just letting Kansas City look like they were playing 7-on-7.
It's weird to think about this, but there's multiple other teams, similar records or same record as Pittsburgh, that easily belonged in there more than Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh was by far the worst team in that in the playoffs.
Yeah, but that's why they play the game. So,
amen.
Put up or shut up.
JMJ, you kind of said it best this weekend. We'll go to Tampa Bay, Philly. Why was anybody on the Eagles in this game?
No, go ahead. I'm listening because I want someone to answer that because I don't understand why. I don't understand why anybody put money, any of your hard-earned money, on Philadelphia Eagles or any of your hard-earned money on the Pittsburgh Steelers. I don't understand. Those lines didn't make any sense.
See, but I think fans, what happens is, and I say fans, so fans of those teams, which have fairly solid backing, as you know, that's an area that you're very familiar with. Those fans are passionate, and they saw this year, they saw the downs, because obviously their team was about 500, a little bit better, both teams. But they also saw like the competitive nature of their teams and the fight in a team that really didn't deserve to be there, and they won some games they shouldn't have. So ultimate optimism going into the playoffs is we're going to be that battle-tested, gritty, make Tom Brady work for it, make Mahomes work for it. And yet what it turned into was they gave up too many easy plays to superior teams, and when superior teams get easy plays, the Bills, the Bucs, the Chiefs, they run away with games. And so those teams didn't do what teams, like the Lions and stuff like that did during the regular season, where they made better teams work for it, and those teams finally just were like, and then you're just not as focused. When you're the better team during the regular season, you're not as focused as you are in the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, I think
Just answer me this. What quarterback do you not want to see in the playoffs ever?
Well, I mean, it's Brady.
So back to my question here, why would anybody think that Philadelphia would go into Tampa Bay and take out Tom Brady?
But I think it was
Eagles
the number though. It was 8. It was the 8.5 because Tampa Bay has not.
No,
that's
good. 8.5 is not a number. 7.5 is a number.
Well, 8.5 is a number too because it's more than one touchdown. That's all I'm saying is that they thought they were going to keep it within a score.
It's a 2-score game,
but it's not like it's a 2. It just didn't make any sense. The Bucs are
right.
Like didn't you say they're superior? They're a superior team.
Right.
Jalen Hurts and the Philadelphia Eagles.
Also, I think the big thing too that we've got to remember is that the Bucs weren't healthy all year, and they were not extremely healthy, but they were the healthiest they've been in a long time for that playoff game.
And when they played earlier on in the year,
yeah.
And when they played earlier on in the year, I think people look at it as 28-20.
Right.
Jalen Hurts had a touchdown. He had 2 touchdowns with his legs. That's how they were going to stay in the game. Yeah, they got beat up in that game.
It was a late comeback that made it even close.
Yeah, I mean.
So I also think after we just watched that, the defense coordinator, Todd Bowles, that's his name, right?
Yep.
Someone's going to want him as a head coach.
I think there's a lot of teams that made the playoffs that have coordinators that are going to be interviewed for head coaching positions, GM positions, different stuff like that. I mean, they're having success, so people are going to look at them.
Right.
They're looking. The Eagles could not. We were texting about that too, just like we were texting about the Cardinals. Both those offenses couldn't do shit with those 2 fast quarterbacks. Oh, they're going to rush all over the place. They did nothing.
Right.
Literally nothing. I turned off the Cardinals game after that pick 6, so this is ridiculous.
Well, I mean,
they couldn't do anything.
He
Kyler
turned
Murray
into Carson Wentz last night.
Kyler Murray turned into Carson Wentz.
Like a kid.
But like that's
you
one
also
game,
have
and
you also have easily one of the arguably the most talented defensive line in the NFL standing in front of his face.
Right. I think it was surprising how bad their offensive line played, and then Kyler's decision making. But that was the Cardinals the last 6 to 7 weeks of the season.
You're not wrong. I think it's funny. So after the Lions beat them and Barstool kept tweeting at them, like, show the score, tweet the score, do this. They finally tweeted the score, and the Cardinals literally fell off the cliff.
Yep, it was an avalanche.
They said it was a turning point. But anyways, like we said, Tampa Bay, superior team to Eagles. They went in there and did their job. Let's talk about the Rams-Cardinals game because, James, you already kind of alluded to it, and we're talking about Kyler Murray here. The Rams look scary.
They did, and they protected Stafford last night, which from a confidence standpoint I feel like was so big. He threw the ball 17 times.
Yeah.
I did bet his prop to throw the ball 20 or more times. Thought that was a lot.
Yeah. Well, that was the thing that they came out. Sony Michel had a huge rush, second play from scrimmage, and then Akers was back, which is huge for them because he's more of an explosive guy.
Let's discuss this quick. Cam Akers is a G.
Yeah, absolutely. He's a difference maker.
Yeah, I mean, they both had. I think they both 58 yards for Michelle, 55 yards for Akers.
Mm-hmm.
Similar backs, except for Akers can come out of the backfield and catch the ball a lot better than Sonny Michel.
I mean, you're looking at they only had 55 plays from scrimmage, 60 plays from scrimmage, and 35 of them were rushing. No, more than that. 40 were rushing, basically.
Yeah. I mean,
and only 17 pass attempts. 18. Odell had one. I forgot.
Yeah, 2 Akers
right.
for 40 yards. And then Akers also dropped another long passer. But, like, he adds an element that they didn't have before.
But they just took the ball out of Stafford's hand, because if Stafford throws 25-plus times, one of those times he's throwing a ball he shouldn't throw.
Yeah.
And so by not throwing and not having to throw, not having to throw, they protected him to get his first playoff win, which is huge for next week going in to Tampa.
I think I was listening to, was it Get Up or something like that this morning or earlier today, and Jared Goff, when he was in Los Angeles, never threw the ball less than like 19 times or something like that is what they were saying. Mm-hmm. So that's a huge, huge thing for LA to be like, oh, hey, we don't have to sling the ball like crazy like we're normally used to doing and running these boots and, deep seams, whatever it might be. We got a balanced rushing attack.
They were still able to do that. Like, they were still able to hit a couple big plays to Odell and a couple big plays to Kupp, and that kept the defense honest enough. And then they just kind of played bully ball up front. I mean, their offensive line just blew Cardinals' defensive line off the ball for the whole game.
Odell is
unless Stafford was running a quarterback sneak, which that guy's got to be the worst sneaker of the football that I have ever seen in my life. He's awful. He just stands straight up like a damn scarecrow. Like
Odell is showing us right now that he was just angry and didn't really want to play in Cleveland.
Yeah, he's a difference maker.
I think that we all forget how great Odell was when he was on the Giants. Right. And then what happened? He got mad and he stopped playing. Well, then he went to Cleveland. He didn't want to. Baker
just proved that he was garbage, I think, more than – I mean, Odell might have stopped playing. That's fine.
Yeah, this doesn't look good
for Baker.
It's not like he was getting the targets.
This doesn't look great for Baker. I mean, Odell coming in, having 6 or 7 touchdowns, just I mean, being a difference maker like we just talked about. Like
Robert Woods
Cooper
getting
Kupp,
hurt.
Cooper Kupp doesn't have to. Cooper Kupp doesn't have to go for over 100 and 20 yards and a touchdown.
Yeah, because they also have that beastly tight end, Higbee. Is that his name?
Who they finally used last night. I feel like they didn't use him very much during the season, and he's a huge weapon as well.
Here's a stat that you won't see very often. Every single one of their players who had a reception had double-digit averages.
Yeah. I mean, when they threw the ball, they stretched the field because they were able to get those linebackers up because they were so effective with the run that they were just running wide open. I mean, Stafford was not throwing to guys that were covered. The ball that the fade in the end zone is about the only one.
Yeah. I mean,
backup just went up and high pointed.
But again, I think the Rams team looks scary good.
Which they played so Jekyll and Hyde all year that how could you know that was the Rams team that was going to show up? Because you saw the same thing out of them that you saw out of the Cowboys, that you saw out of the Cardinals. It was just like 1 week you look like a Super Bowl contender, and the next week you look like you could care less to be there, and you just didn't even get off the bus or even show up to your own home stadium like the Cowboys seem to do most of the time.
Yeah, which
will
is
slide
the
right
next
into
game.
That.
San Francisco 6 seed travels to the 3 seed Dallas Cowboys, and San Francisco took care of business.
I feel like they did exactly what the public anticipated the 49ers to do. I think the public was on. Obviously, a lot of people don't like the Cowboys, which is fine, and everybody's saying how overrated they are and everything like that. But if you look at the Cowboys were the number one scoring offense. No, absolutely. Well, yeah, you look at it this year, and everybody's like, "Oh, they're number one scoring offense," and it's like they're the number one scoring offense in the games that they won. They were the number 25 scoring offense against every good team. They played that game exactly how they played against every good team this year. They played one quarter of football. They played the fourth quarter. And my mother-in-law was over, and she's like, "Oh, they're not playing good." I'm like, "Deb, there was 2 minutes and some odd seconds left in the third quarter," and I said,
"I'm sorry, did you say Deb?"
Deb is my...
Deb, I love that. Hi,
yeah,
Deb.
I said, "Deb," I said, "Listen to me." I said,
"What's up, Deb?"
The Cowboys will have a chance to win this game at the end, and they will play their asses off in the fourth quarter, and then everybody will be extremely disappointed because that is how Dallas played every game that they lost this year, except for the game they got blown out by the Broncos. They played one quarter of football. CeeDee Lamb and Pollard got 6 freaking touches in the whole damn game. 6. How do your 2 best players get 6 total touches? That is asinine.
He's an angry.
And they want Kellen Moore to go be a head coach somewhere. Kellen Moore can leave. You cannot have your best players getting 6 freaking touches in a damn game. 6. Zeke got like 12 carries. He's used up. And then they try to throw him the ball, and he can't turn his body or make a catch or make anybody miss. And we got Tony Pollard standing over on the damn sideline in the biggest game that Dallas has played in 30-some damn years. You got a home game. You got the 49ers who kick your ass in every way, shape, and form for 3 quarters, and you still have a chance to win that game and get 2 drives at the end, and you score 16 points? That's not on the defense. So, like, Dan Quinn is going to get all of the interviews in the world, and he built a defense in 1 year. And that defense kept them in games. But to be the number 1 overall offense in the NFL and score 16 points and get your best 2 playmakers 6 total touches in 60 minutes of football is
horrendous.
I'm so mad about that.
That was an all-time rant.
Oh, that was
Do
good.
it again. Do it again. Do it again.
I mean, you guys tell me you're not the. I get it, and that's fine. Tell me how they don't like. Do you watch that and do you see the same thing? Like, am I wrong about Lamb not getting like?
We've been saying Pollard needs more touches.
What does it matter? Dak Prescott's not that good.
Right, but like you can throw CeeDee Lamb the ball like Cooper Kupp, Devontae Adams. Like, is Lamb not? Am I overstating what Lamb's playmaking ability is, or why is he not getting touches? Like, is he worse than I'm? Like, am I overplaying what his ability to make guys miss and beat dudes down the field? Like, Dallas threw the ball down the field twice that whole damn game.
No, I think what Dallas missed on that, and it's what I think the Rams do well with Cooper Kupp, is they get creative and they find ways to get him the ball. Any way that he can get the ball, they get him the ball.
Right.
And they understand, hey, our offense probably runs through this guy.
Yeah.
He's the biggest playmaker on our team right now, so why not run it through him?
You know who the biggest playmaker on Dallas is? Wilson. C. Wilson. Is it Cedric?
Cedric Wilson.
Yeah. You look at the big games. What he had. He had 5 for 62. And Amari Cooper, who's not a big play. Like, he is a great number 2 receiver.
Yeah.
Amari Cooper is. He's the Robert Woods. He's the Michael Irvin-esque back in the day, possession receiver, will get open on short to intermediate routes and is not easy to tackle. CeeDee Lamb is your home run hitter. Pollard is your home run hitter. And they got 6 freaking touches.
I can't tell you how many times, though, I looked at that game and saw Dalton Schultz running free up seams.
Right, and he had the most catches.
He did, but that dude could have probably had 50 more yards.
I mean, yeah, and I don't know. Did Dak have a terrible game? No, but he had an average game.
Yeah, and we talked about this.
I mean, it's Kirk Cousins.
It's right at that threshold.
Jared Goff. Name your 12 through 18 quarterbacks in the NFL. Like, that's what Prescott did, and man, it's just so frustrating to watch. I will say, defense transform how they did this year, and for the offense to, against good teams, lay a damn egg.
I will say probably one of the best plays that I saw the Cowboys make, and this was on defense, and this was when they were down late, and I think it was either late third quarter, early fourth quarter. It's basically like they had to get this stop.
Right.
It actually might have been mid fourth quarter. Had to get this stop. It's like 3rd and 5, crossing route. Leighton Vander Esch.
Yeah.
Makes a tackle on, I think it was Deebo Samuel.
Mm-hmm. Stuck him.
And doesn't allow him to get any further.
It was a half a yard.
Yeah.
Yep.
He was a half a yard short. And that was probably the best play that I saw the Cowboys make. And I was like, okay. That's when I was like, okay, Cowboys are probably going to give themselves a shot in this because that defense is still playing great.
Mm-hmm. I mean, they gave up 23 points. There's a lot of scary weapons that Shanahan knows how to get the ball to. He hands Deebo Samuel the ball. He gets it to him on the edges.
Deebo's a dog.
Kittle involved. That Jennings has been their MVP down the stretch last 4 or 5 weeks, that dude makes a ton of big catches.
James, what do we say about Debo?
To give him the ball more.
All the time?
All the time, every time.
Yeah.
He's almost, and he's a better version of like a Ty Montgomery. He reminds me a little bit of Cordell Patterson, where he can catch balls on the outside, but has better playmaking ability.
He's more like he doesn't get arm tackled. Receivers that get handed the ball get arm tackled.
He runs.
You cannot arm tackle that guy.
Well, was it Shanahan came out and he's like, he's a natural running back.
Mm-hmm.
He just catches the ball incredibly well.
He
fast.
can actually run around. Like the touchdown he scored to put him up 23-7 was a tough catch and then make guys miss and then be faster than everyone thinks you are.
Yeah.
Because he split two guys that were like, oh, shit, there he goes.
He's kind of fast.
Like he didn't really get touched even. Like,
yeah.
And it was just, and then all of a sudden it was 23-7. Like,
yeah.
I don't know.
But that's our recap of Wildcard Weekend.
So as you can tell, I was real happy.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm not sure if that's better than missing the playoffs altogether or not, to be honest with you guys.
Being expected to win and losing your first game?
Yeah, no, not even expecting, but just like
doing
exactly what everyone tells you you're going to do, and like
being
not
predictable.
Coming out at home ready to play, like literally getting outplayed for 3 quarters at home in a playoff game where you haven't won a playoff game in 10 years. I mean, shit, I don't even know.
Yeah.
You haven't won 2 playoff games in 25 years. So, like, the fact that you would even come out with not, like, Dallas never seems to play with a chip on their shoulder, and I don't understand how at this point, like, somebody doesn't have a damn chip on their shoulder.
Do you think with Kellen Moore there, and like you said, that offense has been stagnant against good teams, they're just winning games, is it a little timidness with him being so young? I mean, what is he, 33?
That guy's going to get a head coaching job.
Yeah, I mean, he will. He will.
Like, I guess I don't know. I mean, maybe he will. I know he's interviewing for head coaching jobs.
Yeah,
I would not hire that guy as a head coach. I don't think he's.
I wonder if teams are
dynamic enough to be he's not a top end offensive coordinator in my mind yet. Even.
Or do you think teams are going to do it? They're going to realize, okay, maybe there's still some immaturities in his coaching. Maybe just like see those flaws and kind of see right through it, or. Maybe they just say, "Hey, we want some young blood, and we can bring in older offensive or defensive advisors to work with him and mold him."
Right, and I don't know. The trend is young.
Yeah,
the trend is young. The trend is offense. So,
we'll see.
I mean, James, do you want him to coach the Giants?
No, I want Flores.
And do you want him to coach the Vikings, Ryan?
I don't think so.
Right.
I mean, do I want a little bit of change of pace? Do I like that offense? But yes, but at the same time, the offense wasn't like we talked about. The offense wasn't necessarily a problem for the Vikings.
Right.
It was their defense was horrendous.
Mm-hmm. No,
it is what it is.
Like I wouldn't be upset. Just like I would be happy to see Zeke go, and I would be happy to see Kellen Moore go. And maybe I'm wrong in that, but that would be. I mean, it's not good riddance, but it's not something that don't cry over spilt milk.
I think if I'm a Cowboys fan personally. And maybe this is just bystander outside looking in, I would be more happy or more cool with Zeke going than Kellen Moore.
Well, right. I don't disagree with that.
I think Zeke hinders them because at one time
be the backup.
Yeah, at one time is he a top tier guy? Yeah, at one time he's breaking tackles, he's running through everybody, right. He's showing out. Cowboys also had the best rushing offensive line in the league. Do they have that anymore? No.
Their overline here's the thing, is their offensive line and the Cowboys in general get, as a player, if you play for the Dallas Cowboys, you get too much credit. So like whatever your rating is, it's a +3 to +5. Like if you're doing Madden ratings or whatever, I feel like in everybody's eyes. Tyron Smith made the Pro Bowl. That guy holds every third play. And the Cowboys, I mean, we didn't even get into the penalties.
And
like
that's because we don't want to talk about that poo-poo-ass game. That's
14 penalties to 9 penalties.
Also, and this is completely random because I'm the reffing, like whatever. I'm not getting into that at all with this because that is not why the Cowboys lost or won. That was self-inflicted.
The reffing, you don't call a draw play. You don't call draw play.
No, that's
in
what I'm
the
saying.
fourth quarter when you have no timeouts and run up the middle of the field.
They were,
okay?
And
the refs had nothing to do with that.
And have zero situational awareness on Dak's side.
Situational awareness by Dak.
To go down, just be like, okay, slide earlier.
Right.
Put the ball, give the ball to a ref.
The ball to the ref.
Idiot.
No, that wasn't the ref.
Idiot.
No, I'm not saying it was the reffing at all. But how do you build a stadium where at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, when you throw a hook pattern, your receiver has to duck because the sun's in their eyes?
And
remember when I was oddly...
They built a $1 billion stadium? Like, how much did this thing cost? And Cedric Wilson ran a 12-yard hook route for a first down that Dak put on his right shoulder pad, and he had to duck because he couldn't see the ball due to the sun.
Do you remember?
How is that
I think it was like 2 weeks ago.
Even become a thing?
2 weeks ago, I think it was a college football game I was talking about where I was like, does the sunset come into play? Does the sun going down come into play? As much as you want to say no, because it should never come into play in those stadiums.
It came into play. And the punter also punted one off the bottom of the scoreboard. So, like, we've got the second, I think SoFi is now more expensive, but or Raiders, maybe second or third, best stadium in football. And we had balls hitting scoreboards and people ducking because of sun. Inside. That's just the most Cowboys thing ever. Inside. Come on. Come on,
all
man.
Right, well, before we get into the divisional round,
yep, I
gotta get rid of this.
You got some fireball going down the hatch here, JMJ.
Since JMJ didn't fill out his lock picks down at the bottom, I'm just by default and association.
We're gonna assume because he went 12-6.
Wait, I can pick him out right now. I'm gonna pick him right now.
He went 12-6 up top.
Pick your divisional ones right now, absolutely. But
I want Titans. Give me the Titans as my money line lock. It's 195 because I think they're gonna beat the Bengals.
Yep.
Red lock. I think the Packers win by a touchdown. So give me Green Bay minus 5.5. Over under lock. I'm gonna go Bengals Titans over 47. And money line lock plus 200 or more. There's not one single option. So
nope. Just pick your
underdog. I think that win the Rams. Give me the Rams.
Rams?
No. The Bills. I'm
okay.
sorry. The fuck am I talking about? Give me the Bills.
Yeah.
Give me the Bills. Because now that line's down to 2. FYI, it was 3 an hour ago.
Yeah,
it's going
and before
down.
You know it, it's going to be a pick'em. It's going to be a pick'em by the time kickoff gets here on Sunday.
Right.
Because
it started
why?
minus.
Because it's a trap line.
It's started -3 KC.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
Now it's minus 2.
Cheers.
And it's going to keep going down.
I mean, what would you, Vegas aside, what would you set that game at?
They are trying to trick you. I would give the Bills at least a 2 to 3 point favorite in this game.
I agree.
This line's a trick.
You got to give them at least and they already beat the crap out of Kansas City in Kansas City this year. Believe me, I was there.
Correct. The Bills are legit, and they just showed us they were legit. Yeah. So everybody's thinking, oh, Patty Mahomes, boo, boo, boo. No, the Chiefs are not the same Chiefs, and the Bills look legit.
As soon as we said that earlier this year, the Bills went down the toilet for a few weeks.
The two things about that, the Bills are playing better as of late.
Way better.
They in the game that they played Kansas City, I think.
About the same. That's when they were peaking early in the year. Both they were playing offense.
And the Chiefs are playing better, so closer game maybe than that. Their defense is playing better. Yeah, sure. So I can see this line being closer, but I still don't understand why Kansas City's favorite.
I mean, ultimately, I think that the Bills
just because they're the 2 seed.
I think the Bills will turn the Chiefs over, and I just don't know that the Chiefs will turn the Bills over. And I think that's what the game is going to hinge on as far as being close.
All right. Well, game number one. We got the 4 seed Cincinnati Bengals. Saturday afternoon. Traveling to the 1 seed Tennessee Titans. Titans are 3.5 point favorites. Last time I checked, JMJ, do you have that pulled up right now?
Say that again. Who?
Titans are 3.5 point favorites over the Bengals still, or
yep. Totals at 47.
Totals at 47. So,
yep.
Feelings on that game?
You my picks, right?
Yeah. What are your? Why do you think that?
Well, I think what?
Your picks.
Well, I think the Titans are going to win. Because I think Joey Burrow's time's going to run out, and now the Titans are getting healthier, and they get Derek back. And they already were good without Derek, and now Derek's coming back.
Yeah, but
they're home.
Is their defense good? And
it's not bad.
Is it going to snow in Tennessee this weekend?
That's why I took the over. What?
Is it going to snow? No, it snowed in Tennessee this last weekend. They've got 3 snowstorms this month in Nashville.
I love Nashville.
That's why.
Hold on, I'm looking at the weather right now.
Sorry, I thought Ryan
they're
had
playing
the
Saturday.
Yep.
They're playing Saturday. It says 40 and sunny.
Okay.
No bad weather.
Nothing.
So give me the Titans.
Do you have any sniff that the Bengals could make this a game?
Well, yeah, because they have Joe Burrow, and Joe Burrow he has BDE. And you all know what that means, right?
Got swag, man.
His swag is nuts.
That was one of the first things
his team is playing hard behind him.
That was one of the first things that Justin Jefferson said this year is that Joe Burrow has more swag than Kirk Cousins. And people made a big deal about it. It's like, no, that's just an obvious statement.
I don't know. I don't know much about Tennessee's defense. I don't feel great about it, so I do feel that the over is definitely in play there. So 3.5 is kind of an odd number to me.
So I did a little bit of research. Tennessee's defense beginning of the year was kind of okay. Right. They've been much better down the stretch. Mm-hmm. I think their last 7 games they were only allowing 17 or 14 points or something like that is what I saw. Mm-hmm. Point differentials wise, the Bengals score 27.1 points per game, and they only allow 22.1, so they have that +5 differential.
Right.
The Titans differential is plus 3.8.
Played so many close games this year.
Yeah, so they play a little. They don't score as much, but people don't score as much on them. Yards per game wise, fairly close. This is one that I looked at, and they kind of give up a decent amount of yards. If you're the Bengals, they're giving up 350 yards a game, mm-hmm. and the Titans are only gaining 342 yards per game. So does that kind of bode well for the Titans to show that, hey, well...
No, I just think that Tennessee can get some chunks, and Tennessee is so, is there a team that is healthier, has gotten healthier as far as, how unhealthy they were to how healthy they're going to be game 1 of the playoffs?
And the Bengals
Julio
lost
Jones
3
completely
linemen.
Healthy. Derrick Henry completely healthy. I don't know about their defense.
A.J. Brown rested and healthy.
Brown
we don't know if
healthy.
he's completely healthy. Let's not get nuts here.
Who's this?
Derrick Henry.
Dude.
But
he almost played in the regular
Bengals
season.
Know,
he's healthy.
The Bengals lost
100%.
Feed the beast.
The Bengals' worst part of their defense all year was their run defense, and they lost 3 defensive linemen last week.
Yeah.
And the Titans are the number 1 running team.
I don't play by the rules.
What was that?
JMJ, what are you doing?
I'm about to play the trap horn because that line is a trap.
Into our schools.
Where's the trap horn?
Where's it at?
Hey.
Campaign finance before.
Is that the...
Where's the trap horn? Yep, there it is.
There you go, JMJ.
It's a trap.
I don't disagree. Joe Burrow is going to have an incredible game to keep them in this.
Yeah, and I don't have any reason to see that. Tennessee's pass rush would be, to me, what keeps Cincinnati's offense from keeping it close. That's why I think it's over. I think Tennessee wins, but I can't. I've got to take the points. Ride with my boy Joey B, just because I want to see him play too. So maybe that's a little bit with the heart there too. But that's a guy that's fun to watch. And he's got playmakers around him.
So Tennessee's 7-2 at home this year. Mm-hmm. They're
straight
great
up
at home.
or against the spread.
That's straight up. Against the spread, I think
they
they were 4-2-2, something like that. I can't remember.
They play a lot of close games, so that's why I hedge a little bit there. But
and Cincinnati was better against the spread than Tennessee was. That's, I think, why I'm going Cincinnati. And on this one, I am actually going to go the under. So Cincinnati and Tennessee, I think, just based off the stats that I was looking at, mm-hmm. Tennessee's gone under in a lot of their games.
Yep.
And Cincinnati is below 500 in their over-unders and is going over less than 500.
Yeah.
So that's why I like the under.
Yeah, I think this game is built for the offenses to be successful. Cincinnati's going to have to throw it a lot to be successful. And I think Tennessee, even running the ball, I think they're going to run the ball so successfully that throwing the ball is going to be easy for Tannehill. And so, like, he's set up for having a really good game here because play action should be open. You've got big play receivers in Brown and Jones, and you've got Derrick Henry even at 85%. And Tennessee can run the ball even without Derrick Henry. So,
and that's why I think that's why I say it's going to go under, is because Tennessee's not going to have a problem running the ball, and they're just going to clock manage. That's what they do. Tannehill's a game manager, but I think Tennessee's a game manager with a good defense.
Tennessee can gouge them with the run. So, in my head, their runs are actually going to be big play runs and not ball control runs. Absolutely. But at the end of the game, you can control the ball in the fourth quarter if you've got a lead with the running game too. So
all right, next one here. We got the 6 seed San Francisco 49ers traveling to the 1 seed Green Bay Packers. This one, we talked about weather implications last time. Sorry, we'll get to that. Green Bay is 5.5-point favorites. Has that changed at all, JMJ?
Nope.
And 47.5 is the total that I have.
Yes, sir.
Perfect. So Green Bay 5.5-point favorites, 47.5 the total. The weather here could play a factor. You got a team traveling from up south.
South? How about out west?
Out west.
Southwest?
Still south. Southwest.
That's fair.
Southwest Airlines.
Southwest Airlines?
Yes.
So that's what they're traveling.
Obviously.
That's what they're traveling. Coach.
I got flight credit.
They're traveling
you
coach.
got 2 bags for free.
Exactly. But it is low temps. From what I saw, it was going to be basically around kickoff time for them. It's going to be mid to low teens with wind chill near zero. Winds going to be 10 to 20 miles per hour, 20 mile per hour. When it gets up there, it's going to be gusty. It's not just going to be, stationary winds at 20 miles an hour. It's going to be gusty. There is a 30% chance of snow. And they're looking at flurries, and that has gone up since they talked about it last. So I don't know. Is it a weather game? And obviously you can't really say anything about a weather game for Aaron Rodgers because he plays in weather games all the time, and he's shown that he can succeed in them.
Yeah, I mean, Packers are going to be fairly healthy as they have been on defense. Not necessarily O-line. I know they had a couple of injuries, but they should get back to hurry back.
Before we get too far in this, let's mention Stoy's picks definitely on the Tennessee game. He went Tennessee, and he went over as well. So that kind of was the theme: Tennessee over up top.
Very good. Green Bay with adding Dillon to the mix with Jones, and then having Rodgers in the backfield. He's going to throw when he needs to throw. He's going to run when he needs to run. I see this being a ball control game on both sides. I think the 49ers, I don't really worry about weather with them because they're actually built more cold weather guys. Like Deebo Samuel is a dude. Like Kittle is a dude. He played in Iowa. Yep. Like they can run the ball.
James, you can't even. He's the best two-way tight end in the NFL.
Does Jimmy
I don't want to hear because he played at Iowa. Who cares?
He's played in the cold. That is absolutely a factor. You can't tell me that's not a factor.
The Iowa Hawkeyes. Like
he didn't play it. He didn't grow up on a beach and play in California. Like he's a dude. Like cold weather, that dude's not bothered by cold weather. Not a chance in hell.
James, you can say Iowa likes mediocrity, but as of late, they're kind of tight end to you right now, so we can't talk about them that much.
The top 3 tight end in the league. It's not even an argument.
That's not true. Tight end U is Notre Dame.
Stop.
Rarian, shout out.
Well, I mean, you can shout out to one guy.
That's a future.
Fine.
That's a future. That's future tight end U. That's not right now.
Just give me the Packers over, please.
Oh, you changed your pick.
Yep, Packers.
Yeah, I just made him mad.
I mean, how can you disagree with that? So
come in with that San Francisco nonsense.
James, I think I sent you this snap.
I just don't
picture earlier, screenshot.
I don't trust Jimmy G. Like that's my only reason.
So
right, you can't trust him. Not in the cold. He's a pretty boy, likes to date porn stars.
That's why I say that would be the guy that's affected. So, but what I think Shanahan did a good job of against the Cowboys is he protected Jimmy G. He handed the ball off. They ran the ball successfully. I think you can run the ball against the Packers. So I think they're built to be able to protect him. And I don't think that Packers haven't blown good teams out this year. So,
yeah,
I
mean, they're going to get.
I think they're
going to
be in the game. I don't think it's a blowout.
So, here is one thing where
Aaron is so mad.
Aaron Rodgers is above average, definitely in the playoffs. I mean, he has good numbers, and I think his defense this year has been better than defenses in the year past. But like you said, it's their run defense that I'm concerned about. If they get Deebo Samuel the ball in space in the backfield, he will beat them
right
on his with his legs. Like that's going to be the big thing for them. However, this is probably one of the most interesting stats, and I sent this to JMJ earlier. Aaron Rodgers is 11-9 in the playoffs, I think is what we found. 4 of those playoff losses were in games that went to overtime. And in 3 of those losses, the Packers didn't have an offensive possession.
Mm-hmm.
So he didn't even have a chance. So in that case, I'm looking at it and saying Aaron Rodgers led them there, and their defense kind of just let them down.
Right.
So to Stoy's point that he was saying earlier, he's had to lead and carry teams. I mean, that's a lot of burden for one dude to take on. But in this game, I think he's just going to overpower San Francisco. I mean, San Francisco's
sloppy conditions too.
San Francisco's worst part of their defense is their secondary. And Aaron Rodgers throws in the cold, he throws in the warm, he throws wherever. Right. That dude's going to make plays, and he's going to beat that secondary up.
Yeah, I mean,
he's going to discount. And he's going to discount, double check the fuck out of it.
He needs to bring it back as much as possible, all the time.
Yeah.
So,
all right, go.
Cole, who do you got?
I've got Green Bay. They'll find a way to win. I think that the reason this game stays close is that I think that San Francisco is way up in the field goal kicking department, and Robbie Gould has kicked in Chicago, so he can kick in cold weather. Mason Crosby is a negative impact guy for the year.
You're not wrong.
He's going to miss.
Wait, hold on. That's going to
make a difference in this game.
Field goal prop.
He's going to miss a field goal in this game.
No, you're saying that the Niners field goal kicker's going to hit a couple of them.
I'm saying that he's not going to miss. Like, he's not a liability. The Packers kicking game is, and it's in crappy weather. And Robbie Gould has played in crappy weather. So, like, if you had a really good field goal kicker that doesn't, i.e., like a Matt Prater or somebody like that, then I don't have confidence. I have confidence in Robbie Gould kicking in crappy weather.
Big names on the San Francisco team have played in crappy weather.
Right.
If you think about, like, Kittle, Jimmy G in New England. I mean,
and he played in Nevada.
Like, yeah, it's not like, and then you got, like you just mentioned, Robbie Gould. Like, they have guys that have played in that cold. That's why, you said, they are built for it. Shanahan's going to get creative. He's going to get people the ball. He's going to run the ball. That's going to be their bread and butter against the Packers, less than average run defense. But I still think my picks are going to be Green Bay. Green Bay is going to cover the spread. And you know what? Last time I said that a cold game was going to stay under, so I'm going to switch and I'm going to go over on this game.
And I'll take the under in that game.
Perfect. And for those listening, we got Stoy with Green Bay, San Francisco to cover the spread, and he likes the under as well.
You guys have the same picks, and we have the same picks. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Very good.
Game number 3 of the weekend, the other divisional game in the NFC. We got the 4-seed Los Angeles Rams traveling to the 2-seed Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Last I checked, and JMJ fact-checked me here, Tampa Bay was 3-point favorites, and the total was at 48.5.
Bingo. I want Tampa Bay money line. I want Rams spread, and I want over. Thank you.
Oh, I already got it typed in. Okay. But so these teams, this is a repeat game of them playing.
Might as well flip a coin for this game, by the way.
Who impressed you more last weekend, Rams or Bucs?
Rams.
Okay.
That's easy. It was a Rams.
Yep. All right.
The Bucs did. The Bucs didn't have to do much, right? Because all of us have been watching all these games from start to finish, right? So if you were watching the Bucs game, and I was watching the Bucs game, they tore. Tom Brady sat in the pocket behind Tristan Wirfs, who got hurt, came back, and just let Mike Evans run hitches all damn day.
Right.
That's all the dude did. He ran like 5 to 10 fucking hitches, and they couldn't stop it.
Yeah.
Right? So they didn't have to do much. They didn't look that impressive. The Rams played way better. We thought Matthew Stafford was going to throw a pick. He did not. And Odell is rejuvenated. And that man is, again, we're forgetting how good he is when he's playing rejuvenated football. He is a beast.
Yeah.
He's so damn fast, and he'll catch everything.
Yeah.
So I just kind of did.
And they also have Cooper Kupp. Like, what?
Yeah.
What are you going to do about that?
So I just kind of did a little bit of a recap.
You're going to pick
this game
Tampa, though, still.
Yeah. I mean, I just did a little bit.
It's Tom Brady.
I did a little bit of a recap of game one. The Bucs had 0 run game in that first game. Tom Brady threw the ball 55 times. Now, Tom Brady did what Tom Brady does and had 432 yards. But I think he only threw for 1 touchdown in that game, if I remember correct. They were mediocre, less than average on third down, 6 of 13. They had 7 penalties to the Rams 1. They just couldn't get in the end zone. I mean, they were making it down the field. They just couldn't get in the end zone. 432 yards, and you only score 21. Or I think they scored 3 touchdowns, 2 of them rushing, 1 passing.
Right.
But regardless, 432 yards and you only score 24 points. That's not very likely. The Rams, I mean, they had an okay run game, but here's the name we mentioned earlier. Akers was not in. Akers wasn't in that game. It was just Michelle. And they went 10 of 15 on third down, so they were pretty darn good. Matt Stafford had a good game. 343 yards, 4 touchdowns.
Yeah. If they can't make Stafford uncomfortable, I can't trust Tampa enough to, I see LA winning this game.
We did say earlier, JMJ, that this was going to be a playoff game. Like we saw this being a playoff game.
Yeah, when the game.
Which one?
You and I, like probably first or second week, we said that this was going to be a playoff game.
Which one?
Rams versus Bucs.
Oh yeah, of course.
Jeez, clean out your ears, man. Must be.
Listen to me. You don't want to. I don't care that I'm slowly getting over COVID. You'll still catch your fucking hands, boy. Okay.
Hey, there's the first F-bomb. First F-bomb of the live stream.
I'm counting.
Oh,
you knew that one was coming. You guys aren't even live. I just checked on Twitter. You're not live.
yeah, we are.
It's not on a Twitter page. I'm on it right now. I don't see that you're live. I'm not even joking either.
It says live on our feed right now.
Okay, well, I'm on the Twitter page, and it's not showing us as live right now. I'm just telling you what's happening on the Twitter page. And usually when we do this, it shows that we're live on Twitter. Right now, it does not.
Well, on ours, it's got a live button right in the side corner right here.
Hey, you do you, Papa.
I'm just saying.
Telling you what I see.
So, Cole, we kind of did this earlier when we were talking. I can't remember who we were talking about. It might have been the Cowboys-Vikings game, but we kind of did a strength versus strength breakdown.
Yeah.
So this game to me, and I heard this earlier, and I'm gonna plagiarize this, but this game, and it because it sticks out, it's Bucs experience versus Rams talent. I mean, that's what it really is in this game. The Rams have experience in the playoffs, but it not at the one position like we talked about. That's the most valuable position in football.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and they're also so inconsistent. So like golfers,
right?
So inconsistent.
So if we're going true, strictly quarterback play, we give TB12 the nod.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's easy.
Yep.
Run game, however, I lean Rams for sure.
Yeah, anybody should lean the Rams. They got Tony Michelle and Cam Akers. The Bucs have what? Fournette's hurt.
Right. I mean,
might be back.
But I mean, even then, it's not a.
Even then, he's not better than Cam Akers right now.
Right. So wide receivers, Rams.
Yep.
Can't say no to that.
Well, you're talking just wide receiver alone, or
well, I mean, just your core 3. You've got Kupp.
Well, then it's
Beckham.
a push.
Yeah, but you've got Kupp.
You think it's a push?
Higbee versus Gronk and Evans. I mean,
right.
It's just
so right there, Gronk and Evans matches up with Odell and Coop.
Right.
Like, I don't think that Tyler Higbee Higbee's not on the same level as Gronk.
I have that on here. I actually have
No.
tight end. Like
Right.
we can't say Higbee isn't that bad because he's a good tight end, but the Bucs definitely have the edge at tight
They
end.
have Gronk. Right.
Yeah,
but
but-
Gronk and Tom Brady are best friends. They know each other like the back of each other's hand.
Right,
Yeah.
but
They
if
don't
they
even
had
have to
another
talk.
wide
Gronk
out,
knows exactly where to be.
I get it, but they can double Gronk, and with Ramsey on Evans, like the matchup is just better. Like the Rams can match up against that, whereas the Bucs don't have the defensive secondary to match up with the weapons that the Rams have. So like to me that still leans Rams in receiving core because the Bucs don't have the matchups, like because of the number of solid talent that the Bucs have lost due to Antonio Brown doing his thing, Godwin being out. You know, I mean, you just don't have the dudes that the Rams do.
Okay, so what's your pick?
And then
My pick is Rams over. But I think because I think the Rams have a better overall defense too, secondary and defensive line.
I mean, I like Bucs Rams over. I don't like why because I'm trying to heck myself honestly.
Yeah. Well,
I don't know.
Again, it's hard to go against.
This
Hard to
game,
go
like
against
I
Tom.
said, it's a coin flip. Right, the coin flip. Can't go against Tom Brady, but the Rams look better.
Right.
But the Rams also have Matthew Stafford, who's one of the most inconsistent quarterbacks. And he
Mhm.
loves to throw picks.
No, I completely agree. I just don't think that
That dude loves to throw interceptions.
I don't think
That's why I
that
took-
Tampa can cover them to a point where Stafford's throwing into tight windows. And I think that's where he gets overconfident and tries to thread needles into tight windows. Now, if Tampa stops the run game and makes Stafford and the Rams one-dimensional, that's a completely different thing. I just don't think that'll happen.
no, I like
you
the
got Ryan.
I like the Rams over on this too. I mean, I kind of go back. They already beat him by 10, and they had less talent when they beat him. I don't believe they had Odell either.
And I don't think Wirfs is going to play. He came back in, but then left that game
So
after 2 plays.
it's going to be strength
Isn't
for
he
strength.
Isn't he from Iowa?
He is.
Yeah, Vernon, Iowa. Mount Vernon, Iowa.
He is. He's
Yes.
Iowa boy.
So yesterday, Bruce Arians says it likely comes down to the wire whether he plays or not.
Right.
It's uncertain. They have no idea if he's going to play.
Right.
I mean, and
And
that's a
if he
tough
doesn't
kid.
play, Tom's in trouble.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
and it just changes the confidence level
he's a
that
tough-
Brady's had there all year.
he's a tough kid,
Right.
so you know that he's going to want to come back and play.
Right. I mean, he tried to come
Yeah,
back in last week when they didn't need him
Do
to.
you
right?
want him at 50% against Aaron Donald? No, you do not.
No,
and
or
Von Miller?
Von
No, you do
Miller.
not.
Yeah, right.
Right? No, you do not.
I mean, if I'm the Rams and he comes in and I see that, I'm going to be like, all right, well, I'm going to test him. They thought he could play. Well, let's see it.
I mean,
All right, give me the Sunday night cap.
AFC number 3 Bills travel to number 2 Kansas City. It's the line's down to -2 Kansas City, correct?
Yeah.
And it's
Yep.
still at 54.5.
Yep.
And we talked about this game a lot earlier. Another repeat game. We mentioned this game quite a bit earlier. The Bills.
Finance before, bitches. That felt pretty good.
It's a trap, people.
can Kansas City stop Buffalo? And is there any weather in Kansas City this weekend? I know it's supposed to be cold here, so I was wondering if it's supposed to be cold there.
Let me check Kansas City weather, please. Hold 1 sec. Hold.
Sunday says 43 degrees.
It's a night game, so it'll be 25.
Yeah, I think. Well, at 6 p.m., 7 p.m., it's going to be in between. It'll be like 35 degrees.
Gotcha. Fair enough.
I don't care how we discuss. I don't care about the weather. This is a trap. The Bills, these last couple of weeks in the NFL have looked way better than the Chiefs. I understand the Chiefs have won and they're putting points up, but they're playing lesser opponents.
Yeah.
Bills best defense in the NFL in terms of scoring,
Right.
or points allowed. Chiefs are kind
Josh
of
Allen.
middle of the road, and they
Yep.
score about the exact same points per game. So the Bills allow four points less per game than the Chiefs, and they score 0.2, I guess, is their average more than the Chiefs.
Do you
That's
think
a pretty
the
big gap.
Chiefs scored 21 points in this game, J&J?
Yes, I do. So I like the over.
Oh, okay.
You like the over?
You put under in. That's
You
what I
wrote
wrote.
under.
Oh, wait, what's this line?
54
Oh,
and a
'cause
half.
that's too high. Yeah, that's too high. Well, I like.
You like this being like a 48-point game. Or like a 51,
no,
like a
because I see,
30-21.
Yeah, bingo, or like a 31-27. That gives me what?
And I just don't think they stop scoring. Like, I think if Buffalo's scoring, like, one of these teams is scoring 40.
Yeah, I like the over. I'm going over because you're right. If Buffalo starts scoring, they're not going to stop.
I mean,
like
they're
they
just
showed us.
Right, just like they did last week. And they showed
And
that
the
they can do it
Chiefs'
really
defense
efficiently.
is suspect. Right, and the Chiefs' defense is suspect. They have played inferior opponents, and that's why they keep winning.
The big thing with that first game that they played when Buffalo won by 18, Josh Allen was their leading rusher.
Yeah. And now
As of late, Singletary is good.
So listen to this, right? So the Chiefs have given up 21 points to the Steelers. They gave up 24 to the Broncos.
Mm-hmm.
They gave up 34 to the Bengals.
Preach.
And then 2 weeks before the
You were the one that started on the under.
Before the Steelers, they gave up 28 to the Chargers.
I know. You started on the under.
Their defense is suspect, and the Bills are playing really good football.
Preach.
Give me the Bills.
Preach.
Give me the Bills. Give me the over. I don't care what you say. Give me the Bills. Bills over. This line is a trap. I think the Bills win this game.
I just want to make sure I think
so.
You knew what was going
me.
on.
So you know what? You know what my biggest bet of the week is going to be? Because right now, since the Bills are +2, I'm going to go right here in the DraftKings, and this means you could probably take the Bills plus something crooked. Yep, I could take the Bills plus 14. Are you shitting me?
That alternate line, that's huge. So here's the thing. So both quarterbacks were the leading rushers in last year. Jerick McKinnon was the Chiefs' leading rusher last week, and he looked good. He made some plays. Don't get me wrong.
He's good in the open field.
Yeah.
He's good for what they have.
4 turnovers. 4 turnovers is what the Chiefs had. Mm-hmm. And I think maybe everybody's looking at Patrick Mahomes. He's 7-2 in the playoffs, and his only 2 losses are Tom Brady. Mm-hmm. So people are probably looking at that record and saying, hey, the dude wins in the playoffs. Right. And the Chiefs
win in the playoffs.
They've come back, and they've looked like a much better team down the stretch. Yeah, I mean, he threw the ball 54 times in that first game.
They got down so much, though, and they turned the ball over. Like it turned into they missed so many opportunities. And I mean, like I said, way back when I was at that game, and the game was so much more competitive from an on-the-field openings standpoint. Like, the Chiefs knew how to attack Buffalo and didn't do it. Like, they had the plays and the setup, and they either turned it over or missed openings. Like, that was back when Mahomes was still seeing ghosts early in the season.
Yeah.
And then Buffalo was kind of like Buffalo was this last week. So, like, can Kansas City keep up? Yes, that's why I think it's the over. Can they keep up to the efficiency that Buffalo has shown? I just don't think so. I don't think their defense is up to the task. I don't think.
There's one important comment that we're not telling our listeners.
That the game's in Kansas City?
Mm-mm.
That Josh Allen's going to win the Super Bowl?
You know how hard it is to beat a team 2 times in the same season.
I mean, that's because I don't believe that.
You don't believe that? You've played football your whole life, right?
Right. And I believe that if I went in and dominated
the same year,
I don't. I mean, I think if you upset a team, or if you thought that, I think if you got outplayed and won a game, then there's that thought in the back of your head of like, oh man, like could have won or whatever. Like, I think it was the same Buffalo going into against New England last week. Is Buffalo lost a game to New England this year that they know they had no business losing. They knew they were the better team, and they went in and shit stomped them in Buffalo, even though they lost a game where New England only threw 3 times against them that year. Buffalo had no doubt that they were the better team against New England, and I think Buffalo is driving
the gap.
They're going to Kansas City this weekend, and they're saying the same thing. Kansas City can be as cute as they want. They can have Mahomes. They think they are the best team in the NFL right now, and they're going in with an attitude, and they don't give a shit that it's in Kansas City. Arrowhead be damned. We already won there once, and we think we're the best team in football.
Hard to argue with that. I mean, do I think the Chiefs make it closer than an 18-point game? Yeah, because they're a better Chiefs team than them.
I just don't think they turn it over that much.
I just don't know that they make up 18 points. And I still think that the Bills can hang 38 on that defense.
They already did.
I know. I don't. Yeah.
They've already put up 38 on them.
J&J, I got terrible news. Terrible
What?
breaking news.
Stop it. No, I'm going under.
No, it was settled.
No,
it was settled.
No,
Yep.
change my pick.
Nope.
No,
No.
change me.
Don't you dare.
Change me.
You can turn it red if
Listen
you want.
to me.
We are not
Listen
changing
to me.
it.
This isn't good. I love the Bills this weekend. The Goonlock's going to ruin it. You never win these things.
Hey, every curse needs to be broken.
Hey, we
not
won.
true.
We won
The
like our last two.
The Madden curse doesn't say that. Well, actually, the Madden curse did not happen this year because Mahomes and Brady are still healthy.
Also, R.I.P. Madden, so therefore the curse is gone.
All right, fine. Goonlock, fine.
It's locked. We're not changing it for your ass.
I just
You're so tough. So tough, guy.
How mad
the Bills
he-
are peaking.
he
The
was-
Bills are peaking at the right time.
He's so mad that it was a good lock.
The Bills are peaking at the right time. JMJ, can you give me
I like Iowa State. Tech game tonight, too.
JMJ, can you give me
Yes.
is it minus 180 for the Titans still?
It was 195, I think.
195 now.
Yeah. So Stoy's also got Tennessee minus 195. He's got the Rams plus 3, and he's got that game over as his over-under lock, and then he's on the same as you, Buffalo plus 114 for, which we're all on Buffalo as we know, for the
They're probably
lock, so
they're probably less than plus 114 now, aren't
for
they?
the money line lock.
What is it, like plus 105?
What's Buffalo, JMJ?
Buffalo?
Yeah, plus 105.
Yep.
And then I'll take, let's see. You're 200. You're minus 250. Cheater.
Hey, easy. Look at the NFL Wildcard weekend. You took the Chiefs that were minus 650.
Oh, that's fine. Yeah. Who's the most guaranteed game to win? Phew.
Packers.
Man, honestly, like
Packers.
I feel like it's the Bills.
No, but also it's the Packers.
Yeah, but hey, if you want the Bills plus 105, I'll give it to you. But I got the Packers.
It's the Packers.
Yeah, it's got to be the number. I mean, everything says it's the Packers, but
It's the Packers.
and spread lock. I'll take. Give me the Rams.
Could you
in there.
imagine though if San Fran goes into Green Bay and beats them?
Yeah,
Oh,
like
God.
that's the thing is I can like I don't.
No, I can't. No, I don't see it. Sorry,
That's
you're by yourself on that one.
That's fine.
Who do I like in this one?
Give me the over in that Tennessee game.
You and JMJ are all over that one. 47.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
What, Papa?
And then Buffalo for sure. Plus 105. What's Cincinnati?
Plus 165.
That's,
165, so that went up.
and what's San Francisco? Plus 190.
Plus 195.
So they're close. They would be the closest thing to a true dog.
I think there's going to be 2 upsets this weekend.
Yep.
So I'm going to start from the bottom. I think there's going to be 2 upsets this weekend. What's the number on the Rams? I like the Rams over the Bucs.
Plus 130.
Okay, that's what I had. Perfect. So I like the Rams upset. to upset the Bucs. Over under lock. You know what? I'm gonna take. I like the Rams. Tampa Bay over.
Okay.
Over 48.5. And then
Stoyer both on that.
yeah. And then I like for my spread lock. Who do I like here?
Well, you obviously like the Rams. You got them to win.
Well, yeah, but I don't want to.
Right.
I don't want to take them there. I'm gonna follow JMJ here. I'm gonna make my top two picks and my bottom two picks the same. So I'm gonna take the Packers minus 5.5.
Go Niners, go.
Go Niners, go, huh? Just so you can have a better record than us.
No, I mean,
You're not even on that one.
just because JMJ hates the Niners coming in and playing in cold weather.
That's
I
fair.
don't care about the cold weather. It has nothing to do with cold weather. It's Aaron Rodgers and the Packers. Give me Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams over Jimmy G and Debo any day of the week.
In a fight or in a like, are we throwing hands as you say, or are we playing football?
First of all, it's not throwing hands. You got to catch hands. 1, 2, we're playing football. Packers all day.
If I'm throwing hands, you catching them.
No, son. You don't want this smoke.
Oh
Papa.
my! I don't know. I'm just getting all sorts of spam calls right now.
All right.
JMJ's got so many viruses on his phone that they're coming over to my phone.
Whoa. Watch it. Fuck out of here. What are these fucking viruses?
Oh,
We got to get off the air. We've just been censored.
exactly. We've been flagged for misconduct.
Right.
Tell them to come see me. 7916 Cottonwood, homie.
To end this, we will, as always, we're going to tease, like I talked about at the beginning of the show. We are going to start transitioning into golf here within the next
can't
couple
wait for
weeks.
that.
This
Thank you,
week,
Hideki Matsuyama. Hideki was plus 250 before the final round. And I say to myself, is Russell Henley going to hold on to this lead, or is he going to choke like he usually does on
what do
Sunday?
you have, a 5-stroke lead going to the back nine?
Hideki.
5-stroke lead going to the back nine.
Henley
play.
is the choke artist.
Oh,
Henley
my
does that shit
goodness.
every time. He chokes all the time.
Plus-
Hideki was the play. Henley always chokes.
Oh.
He always does it. He can't help
Plus
himself.
2 in the last 9.
So just this past week, Hideki Matsuyama won the Sony Open. This next week, we are picking the American Express Open.
That's right.
I have some thoughts, JMJ. I listened to our podcast and I didn't hear mention of my my top thought, so I'm a little disappointed.
You listen to Degenerate.
I did, and I heard one small mention of my boy that I liked, and it kind of frustrated me.
Well, you know that we don't talk golf until Wednesday.
He's a
We'll
horse
talk
for
about this
horses
tomorrow.
for courses, and that's what he was. He's a horse for the course.
Who's that?
I love course history.
Giving us
Horse
some
history
insider?
gets me jacked up.
I'll
Hey,
give you
Jay, who
Horse
you like this
history
week?
gets me jacked up.
Real
I'm not-
quick.
It's not Wednesday.
Send
We'll
us-
talk Wednesday.
My
I don't-
five-
We can't
I don't do
talk
my
Wednesday.
research
I'm
until
not
Wednesday.
with you on Wednesday.
my 5 guys
You
that
know
I
my
like.
number, fool?
I
You know my
know.
phone number, ho?
My 5 guys that I like.
Who's your Super Bowl pick?
Yeah, who is your Super Bowl pick? Actually, let's do that.
Come
To
at
end
me
the
with a
sh- to end the
Super Bowl
show.
pick.
To end the show, let's do our Super Bowl picks.
Bills.
Bills Packers. You Aaron
Yep.
Rodgers homer.
Lock me in.
What about you?
What's your horse for the course?
My
I'm
horse
trying
for
to
the
look on
course.
this
You know I love the
Oh,
Bills.
Siwoo? Are you
Oh.
talking about Siwoo?
No.
Oh.
They talked about him on there, but that's my
Michael
horse.
Thompson? Oh,
No.
we like some Michael Thompson.
I liked him last week. I texted you about him a lot. I think my Super Bowl winner this year, I think Aaron Rodgers is going to win the MVP of the Super Bowl and be the MVP in the NFL.
And they're going to beat who?
I think they're going to beat the 3 seed Buffalo Bills.
We're all in the Bills. I don't like that, but give me the Bills.
Bills to win it all.
Yeah, Josh Allen that dude's a horse. He stays healthy. I mean,
He's going to be a
talk
fun
about
guy to watch.
Somebody
in that game.
like that dude, he can put the team on his back in any weather.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter to me either side. They got a defense that makes plays. They're not, a great defense, but they're more than solid. They can make plays. And I think on the other side, I think the Rams somehow ride a hot hand into the Super Bowl, and I would have never said that before watching them actually stick to a running game plan. And I think that they have some guys that are desperate to win. And I think the longer Stafford goes in the playoffs, the more comfortable he's going to get. And,
I like that.
And if they can protect him, then I'll take my chances with the Bills over Rams which would be a home game for the Rams this year.
At SoFi?
At
right?
SoFi.
Yeah.
So, because Buffalo will have more fans in Los Angeles than Los Angeles for their own Super Bowl.
Yeah. I think they're gonna have.
Right.
I mean, Arrowhead has a ton of fans. They
Right.
they have a great following in Kansas City.
Mm-hmm.
But Bills Mafia,
Yeah.
Bills
Show
Mafia, man. But as always, everybody, we appreciate you. Like, subscribe, follow, share. We're on all different podcast forums. We are on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. For those of you who want to comment at us, talk smack to us. I know a couple guys called me out last week because of my New England Patriots pick. Rightfully so. That was kind of a bad pick, but I thought Bill Belichick in the playoffs was going to do a little bit better. But anyways, like I said, appreciate you guys, and we'll talk soon.
It's time.